Hello, my name is Jacqueline Henley, and we were supposed to do a project called the Literature Equity Audit Analysis. We were supposed to pick books based on our major. My major is early childhood development, and the books I chose were the first eight books of the Junie B. Jones series. The Junie B. Jones books, the main character is a white girl, and it focuses on her school life in kindergarten and first grade. The books focus on everyday school and family life from child's perspective, emphasizing humor, mischief, and learning lessons. The first book of the series is Junie B. Jones and the Stupid Smelly Bus. This book starts out, Junie is beginning kindergarten and she finds out she has to ride the bus. A lot of kids normally are very excited to ride buses, but she is definitely not. She goes to get on the bus and finds out that it is smelly. She also doesn't make friends right away. Um, but the first day of school, she decides that she doesn't want to ride the bus, and she is lining up to go out to the bus, and she sneaks away from her class. And hides and worries her teacher and her parents. So the lessons of this book is it's normal to be nervous about new things and ask for help instead of running away from your problems. And there are rules and routines in school for a reason. The second book that I did of the series was Junie B. Jones and a Little Monkey Business. In this book, Junie is about to become a big sister. Her mom is pregnant with her little brother, and her grandma comes home and says that she saw her baby brother and calls him a monkey. So, as a kindergartner, she thinks, oh my goodness, my baby brother is a monkey. And she goes to school and tells all of her friends that she has a monkey for her brother, and they all get really excited and want to be the first to see a picture or hear about it. So then her friends, her two best friends, are on the playground with her, and they end up giving her stuff and trying to be the first person to hear about the baby brother. Um, this book talks about metaphors later on in the book, talking about that um, when grandma called her baby brother a monkey, she really didn't mean it. So they talked about different metaphors such as a lucky duck, a big pig, busy as a bee, a couch potato. That doesn't really mean that's what you are. The lessons of this book was always ask questions if you don't understand something, tell the truth. Telling the truth is important, and friendships are built on honesty, and being truthful builds trust. The third book is Junie B. Jones and Her Big Fat Mouth. In this book, they were in class and they started talking about careers, and she didn't know what she wanted to be when she grew up, but she also starts to be really mean to the other kids and she gets in trouble. She can't decide what she wants to be when she grows up and goes home. And she tells her parents that she wants to be, I think, a princess, a janitor, and a couple other things. So she goes to school the next day and is dressed like all of those, and people are making fun of her and saying she can't be that. And then she eventually says she can be whatever she wants because of her big fat mouth. but it probably wasn't very nice. So the lessons of this book is to think before you speak, be yourself, and it's okay not to have all the right answers, and creativity and imagination. Next is Junie B. Jones and Some Sneaky Peaky Spy. Junie B. Jones says she's a really good spy. She hides under a bunch of different things. Um, in this book, her and her mom go to the grocery store and she sees her teacher. And so she spies on her teacher and she sees her teacher eat a grape without paying for it. So then she thinks that she has this big secret, but she doesn't want to tell because she doesn't want her teacher to go to jail. So then she finally gets the whole story that her teacher had got some sour grapes and she wanted to try them before she bought them, but she should have asked, she said. So the lessons of this particular book is don't spy or snoop on people, always ask questions or talk to a trusted adult if something confuses or worries you. Things aren't always what they seem, and apologize when you're wrong. Next book is Junie B. Jones and the Yucky Blucky Fruit Cake. In this book, her teacher announces that the school is having a carnival, and Junie B. Jones is really excited. There'll be games and prizes and snacks. Um, and Junie is really excited to win some prizes. But at the carnival, she tries a bunch of games, and they were a lot harder than she thought. She finally wins a game, but the prize wasn't something cool. She won a fruitcake. Um, so she wasn't excited about that because then her friends were showing all the cool stuff that they won. The lessons of this book is winning isn't the most important part of having fun. Not everything in life turns out the way you expect it. The next book is Junie B. Jones and That Meanie Jim's Birthday. In the series, there's a boy in her class named Jim that she does not get along with. So in this particular book, the boy does that she doesn't get along with, Jim, is having a birthday party and she overhears him inviting people or talking about the birthday party. And when she asks if she's invited, he tells her no. So then she gets really upset. Um, and she goes and complains to her parents and even her teacher. And they try to explain to her that not everyone has to invite everyone else to things like that. And that it's okay to be disappointed. But eventually, Jeannie realizes that being mean back doesn't solve anything and that it's okay that not everybody's your friend. So the lessons of this book are you won't always be invited to everything, and that's okay. Being mean doesn't solve problems. It's important to talk about your feelings when you're upset. The next book is Jeannie B. Jones Loves Handsome Warren. In this book, there's a new student named Warren, and Junie B. Jones instantly is smitten with him. But she hears her two best friends talking about him and how they like him too, and she gets really jealous. She tries a bunch of things to make him like her, and he's very confused and just doesn't like all the attention. Um, she realizes that trying too hard isn't the way to make a friend. So then she just lets it go and they do become friends. The lesson of this book is don't try to change yourself to get someone to like you, and friendships are more important than crushes. Another book from the series is Junie B. Jones has a monster under her bed. One of Junie B. Jones's classmates tells the class that his older brother told him that there's a monster under his bed. So that makes Junie really scared, and she thinks that there might be a monster under her bed. She goes to bed that night. and she tries a bunch of things because she thinks there's a monster under her bed, tries to sleep at the foot of her bed. She hides under blankets and gets a flashlight. She also has her parents check under her bed, but they tell her that nothing's there. The lessons from this book are fear can feel real, but often is your imagination. Talking about your fears can make them smaller, and being brave doesn't mean you're never scared. Um, my overall conclusions of these books is that the series reflects a predominantly white middle class suburban environment. Um, there are few male authority figures, but many adult characters guiding and disciplining Junie are women, such as teachers, mothers, babysitters, reinforcing traditional gender roles as nurturers and caretakers. However, Junie B herself breaks gender norms as a spirited, messy, imperfect girl who speaks her mind and questions the rules. Thank you.